Welcome to Homestead-Miami. I'm Kyle Heyer here with Finian DeCuna. Finian, we're starting up another new season tonight with the International Sim Drivers Club for the Rigshare World Series for 2018, a 15-round IndyCar Championship, and Finian, I cannot wait to get this one started.
Yeah, I've been really excited to see some oval racing, especially in IndyCar with the draft and then just all these cars being in a pack, going at like 200 miles an hour. It should be really exciting.
All right, Finian, and we have about 4.5 minutes left in the pre-race warm-up here. 26 cars will take the grid for this race, but if you look at that relative on the left-hand side of your screen, there are 29 cars entered. One of those is the series admin, who will not be competing, so we're going to send a couple of them home this evening. Right now, in practice, we got Tim Silliman right now leading with a 24.436, and there is some burnouts going on down on pit road. So for the time being, it looks like Aaron Bean is the only one left on the racetrack that is at speed. So Finian, 100 laps tonight, 150 miles for this Rigshare World Series. And before we get started, I just want to remind everyone watching on YouTube later that the race start time can be found in the comments post-race, as well as links to the series point standings and to links to the sponsor, Rigshare. Rigshare LLC is the title sponsor of the Rigshare World Series, and it's a company that's based out of Lehigh Valley, specializing in mining cryptocurrency, so check out that link in the description. So this is the first race for the Rigshare World Series using the Dallara IR18 chassis. And previous winners at Homestead here are Eric Steinmetz, who was the Season 2 2016-2017 winner, and Eric Davis in the Season 4 of 2017. So can't see off the top of my head if those drivers are back here tonight, but I don't see them right now. But as we watch Aaron Bean here, and wow, he slides into pit road wildly. Oh. Okay, all right, those guys having some fun here down in pit lane. But 3 minutes left in practice. We're going to have a couple minutes for qualifying to sort everybody out and set the grid for this 100-lap race. Now, Finian, this is our first oval race, actually, for Sim TV. We're pretty new to this. We've been doing this for about a month and a half, 2 months now. And this, believe it or not, we kind of stem from oval racing backgrounds, and this is our first oval race. So I'm really looking forward to maybe even having some cautions tonight. That's a new thing for us.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like you're saying, we both grew up watching oval racing, particularly on the stock car side of things. But, you know, we've seen all kinds of racing, especially IndyCar oval racing, and it's extremely exciting to do. I'm also happy. It's also cool to see because I did this race on the official iRacing, so I have a little bit of how this race is going to play out as far as strategy is going to go.
Yeah, and some other series news. This is the Toyota Indy 300. This is the first race back for ISDC's 6th season. We have a couple other things for ISDC noted here. The CSRT Super Truck Series kicks off Thursday at Phoenix right after the Grand National Series. The ISDC Endurance Championship kicks off in 2 weeks on May 6th from the Interlagos circuit in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So there's some other things to look forward to for ISDC. You can find their league page on iRacing's website. Another fun thing we got tonight, we have Palm Tree Cam. This is one of our favorite things we've been looking forward to, is putting some silly cameras around the racetrack. This is going to be one of them. We also have Cactus Cam at Phoenix. That's a fun one, but we'll be referencing this later this evening. Now, first race of a 15-round season, Finian, and as we're looking at the disabled car of Johnny Eckert now take a look at the 65 of Matthew Wood. 15 races is a pretty decently long season. It runs most of the summer and a little bit beyond, and I'm expecting a really nice, long, good season, and this is going to be very, very competitive. Yeah,
definitely. I believe you have how last season's title fight played out, if you want to give a word in.
Yeah, so Stephen Larkamp led Danny Roberts by 8 points leading into the last race at Texas, and led Johnny Eckert by 30 points. But Danny Roberts received a penalty, was sent into the back. He fought his way back forward, but got into trouble mid-race and saw his title hopes go up in smoke. And Stephen Larkamp crossed the line at Texas 4th and taking home his 5th consecutive Rigshare World Series championship. And right now he is P4 on the practice chart, so looking good for Stephen Larkamp.
Yeah, 8 points is really not that much. I believe it's 50 points for first place, 40 for second, 35 for third, and so on. So that was great to see that the title fight come down to the last race, and solid job by what's the driver's name again? The champion for last season.
That'd be Stephen Larkamp.
Stephen Larkamp, yeah, great job by him. 5 championships is not an easy feat. To get all of them is amazing.
Whoa, hello, Matthew Wood. Now, as this is a new series for us, as we just mentioned, so We're still getting used to a lot of the names, so if we mispronounce your name and you're watching this video, just send us a message on Discord. We'll get that fixed right away. I have a pronunciation guide for a couple of the drivers, but not everyone. So a lot of new names tonight, so we're going to be stumbling looking through the driver list here, trying to get everybody figured out. But 5 minutes qualifying, 26 cars are going to make the grid, so we're going to get them going here and see who is going to make the race. Looking at John Martin in the 12th, heading out onto the racetrack. Now, Homestead-Miami got progressive banking here, and we were talking earlier about the banking at this racetrack. Kind of deceiving in some places. Would you like to talk about what that could mean when you're driving a race car around here?
Yeah, definitely. It kind of gives you a false sense of how far you are away from the wall. Typically, in these cars, at the end of the run, you're going to be running more towards the high line, and so it can be kind of scary at times because if you're it almost seems like you're going to hit the wall, but if you let off, you're going to find that you're going to end up missing the wall by like a good amount of space, and you're going to end up losing time. So you really got to be careful as far as how close you get to the wall and knowing when the wall starts to open up, when the track starts to open up, so you can maximize the amount of time you get.
Yeah, Homestead typically ends the NASCAR season here, but we're starting off here for the Rigshare World Series here for ISDC. Tonight's race, once again, is 100 laps, 150 miles. Regular events here in this series have a field cap at 26. The Triple Crown races have a field cap of 33. Tonight's fuel is capped at 11.6 gallons, so that's going to put our pit window at around 30 laps. Drivers must be on the apron before turn 3 to enter the pits and must maintain the apron until they exit turn 2, and failure to do so may result in a penalty. So, a couple regulations we have to follow tonight. Drivers may not go below the white line at any time, excluding pit entry and exit. So that's another thing we're going to have to follow along. Let's see. As for our ticker on the left-hand side of your screen, this ticker is going to go away eventually, but we're going to be creating a custom one very, very similar to this in a few weeks. This is based on drill reel timing, and when we focus on a driver, you will see the relative go away as we're looking at Chris Gutierrez in the number 2 car. You see that there's no relative next to him because he's the car we're focusing on. Drivers in blue are 1 lap behind whoever we're focusing on. Drivers in red are 1 lap ahead. And any drivers in yellow are on pit lane. So that's just a little bit of growing pains for us. We're just kind of getting our own custom stuff in. We're working with ATVO to get a custom ticker in the coming weeks. But Tyler Tucker jumps to the top of the board with a 24.986 in the number 55 Dallara. And just as I say that, Nick Stoller in the 4, 24.971.
Yeah, solid time by him.
Now, Finian, these new Dallara IR18s only been in iRacing here for a couple of weeks. Now, one of the things that was very different from the DW12 was how these things draft.
Yeah, it's a lot, because there's a lot less downforce on the car, you also get a lot less aero push, so it's easier to follow the car behind you. The car isn't going to walk up the track as much, and you can follow the car closer, and you don't have to worry about getting going up the track into the wall. You can just push you can push harder. And so, yeah, and definitely one thing as we're on that topic, it'd be interesting to see during the race, these cars, as the tires are going to fade after a few laps. So you're going to see at the beginning of the race, these guys are going to run the bottom line in 1, 2, and in 3 and 4. But as the run's going to progress, we're going to see these guys use different lanes more towards the higher side of the track. So it'll be cool to see the different lines that these guys take.
Yeah, if you need a minute and a half remaining in qualifying, and Stephen Larkamp, your defending champion, jumps to 2nd on the board. And Johnny Ecker up to P4, and Chris Gutierrez has fallen all the way back to 5th. Take a look at, that is Chris Baydorf in the 21, trying to get a lap down.
And also you have a new pole sitter.
Tanner Watkins jumps to the top of the board with a 24.9. The 24.9 seem to be where all these guys are stalling out here, without obviously any hint of the draft in solo qualifying. And we're looking down, the only 26 cars have actually completed a lap, but as Baydorf comes around here, that is going to change.
We're going to see who's the driver that is going to miss out tonight's race.
And as of now, Baydorf is the 27th car, and he is the odd man out for the time being. But if he can complete another lap and be just a little bit quicker.
Typically the second lap is quicker, so it should be need to see where he does end up.
And Danny Roberts jumps up to P2 in the 41 car. And as Baydorf rounds turn 4 and comes back to the line, we'll see if he can improve his position. Yes, he does to 26 and kicks out Matthew Wood. And Matthew Wood is not out on the racetrack, so I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, so Matthew Wood will be missing out. Unfortunately, he'll be the only car going home tonight without taking part in the race.
That's the way it goes sometimes, and with very good participation in this series, you're bound to leave a couple people out, unfortunately. But those other events, the Triple Crown events, up to 33 entries, so that won't exclude anybody. All right, as we're getting set to grid, a couple things we want to note one more time is that this race is 100 laps. And so as we grid this race up, 100 laps, 1.5 mile racetrack, oval, true oval, no, not a D-shaped oval this week. See our field gridding on pit lane for the time being. All right, Finian, predictions. Cautions, no cautions, strategy, no strategy. What's your call?
I'll be honestly amazed if we don't see a caution. And it's not trying to say that these guys are bad drivers. I'm just trying. It's 26 cars. You're going 200 miles an hour. You're all really close, especially at the start of the race. There's probably going to be some beating bang. And
the 27 of James Gutta is also going to miss the field. Did not lay down a qualifying lap, so he will also be missing the race. So Matt Wood not alone in that category. The 1 lap pacing around here, we're going to set them loose for 100 laps. The Rigshare World Series first round of 15. The summer of 2018. Want to note again that for those watching on YouTube, you can skip the whole pace lap and click right on the time that I will be posting in the comments after the race, so you don't have to watch the pace lap. We will be taking you flag-to-flag coverage, and then we'll be getting some post-race interviews after the race. We'll have a short break just to catch our breath and unwind for a second before we come back, but that'll be when the checkered flag flies. Pace car, the Ford Mustang FR500S, is about to pull off pit road and drag behind him 26 Dallara IR18 Indy cars. There they go. Starting lineup is on the left-hand side of your screen. Roll off and begin their 1.5 mile pace lap. And the pole sitter Tanner Watkins is going to lead them down onto the back straightaway. Again, one of the things that these drivers are going to have to respect here today is the pit road entry and exit apron run. What do you call them? Access roads.
Access roads, yeah.
And I knew that word. Yeah. So the track like that or like this, when it has an access road, does that make your pit entry less aggressive, more aggressive? How do you drive it?
Oh yes, it definitely is. It almost has it's a misleading access road, especially in 3 and 4. You almost want to accelerate just a little bit more, but if you accelerate too much, you can't slow down to actually get into the pits, and you might get a speeding penalty. So hopefully these guys don't run into any problems, as we're just about to go green.
Out of turn 4, the 3 of Tanner Watkins is going to lead them down next to the 41 of Danny Roberts, and the green flag already flying, and green flag is in the air for 100 laps here at Homestead. Tanner Watkins gets a great jump on the field, leads them into turn 1. You can see drivers glowing in green are passing their competitors, and drivers in red are falling down the order. See Larkamp dropping down 1 spot. Whoa, Nick Stoller runs a little bit high. And you can use that high lane here, Finian, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. At the beginning of the race, any part of the track is pretty much fair game. You're going to see these guys use as much track as possible. 41's looking there for a pass for the lead, but can't get it done.
Johnny Eckert in the 90 looking to the outside off of turn 2. Can't quite clear, does the over-under all the way down to the bottom, side by side for the lead with Tanner Watkins and Danny Roberts into turn 3.
Yeah, he's trying to find a way through, but just can't seem to find a lane, so he's going to fall back. He's under pressure from the 77.
A huge gaggle of cars here as we work our way already on lap 3. Tanner Watkins holds on to the lead for now, but still side by side with 41 of Roberts.
Yeah, so far so good. Doesn't seem anyone's run into any problems. Everyone's made it through alive.
Cody Wenzen has dropped off a little bit off the pace, but everybody seems to be in pretty good shape otherwise. 3 wide for the lead heading into turn 3.
Everyone's getting really racy. You want to get as much position as possible. The 41 dies below the 3 of Tanner. And I think he's going to end up inheriting the lead.
Tanner Watkins fighting hard on the outside, but he's going to have to give it up to the 41 Roberts through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, looking up underneath the rear wing. Thanks to Finian for setting up these beautiful cameras for us this evening.
Yeah, this is pretty much what's in his mirror right now. He has a bunch of hungry cars ready to take the lead. And yeah, inside line is definitely, as we've seen here, is going to be the key line. So he's just going to have to hold that bottom line, defend him, and you can see no one's able to get a run. Yeah,
Tanner Watkins going to take another look to the outside here, see if he can get a little bit of a side draft on the side pod of the 41, and he's going to get alongside him heading into turn 3. But look who's here. Kyle Pokerfly in 77. Pokerfly, that's a K, not a L. We'll have to correct that next time. Side by side, there's Chris Gutierrez in the number 2 car, following this group. In that silver Dallara. No shortage of action already. 6 laps into this one. Nick Stoller in that orange Dallara went out up on the high lane in the early part of the race, Finian. As you're saying, you can kind of use the high lane, but the preferred line for now seems to be on the bottom.
Yeah, but there's a caveat to that. If you use the high lane, you're going to wear out your tires less, and I think that's probably the biggest thing for this race and this racetrack. You want to save your tires as much as you can, because once you start getting to the high lane, you're going to have to slow down even more, and the more tire, the more grip you have, the faster you can go later on.
Huge field of cars here in the draft. One of the things we're going to talk a lot about tonight is aero push, Finian.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Well, this new chassis definitely helped eliminate that. It's still there. And, you know, you're going to have to deal with it, especially when a huge back car and just the weight coming off of each car.
Defending series champion Steven Larkamp is running in 8th right now. He's actually fallen back a little bit at the start of the race. But maybe he just saw a little bit too much action and wanted to keep himself out of the trouble. Oh man, Nick Stoller running a little bit high off of turn 4 again. Looking to the outside. Oh, a big crash. And a horrible crash. Caution is out. And Zach Buchanan's in it. Several others are in it as well. And that's a big one, Finian.
Yeah, we're going to have to take a look at that. A huge crash that happened.
Yeah, out of turn 4 here, Zach Buchanan and just 3 wide and kind of ping-ponging off each other here. Wow! A couple cars get airborne as you see Jared Dixon in the 60 take flight, bouncing wildly, and yeah, that's not looking so good for him.
See if we can get an onboard of that.
Looking from the roll bar cam of the 60 of Dixon.
Yeah, from what it looks of it, looks like he tried to shoot the gap, and
that hole gap there. That hole just closed up before he got there, and wow, what a ride we're going to go on here. Oh, man, I hope he's not in VR.
Yeah, I can imagine it's a really good experience.
I'll head back live and catch up with the rest of the field and see what is going on right now. Looks like Danny Roberts is going to bring them down to pit lane. Notably, Nick Stoller keeps staying out on the racetrack, and he's going to jump up to the lead.
Yeah, that's honestly an interesting move because we do know that these guys have about 30 laps of fuel in their tank, and this is a 100-lap race. So if you do your math, you could make it to the end. If you don't pit now, you can still make 2 laps. Sorry, I'm getting my words mixed up. You can make 2 pit stops, and you'll end up having 3 stints of fuel, but you'll still be 10 laps short at the end. So, you know, it could turn out being an advantage, and I believe Tanner beat out the 41 on pit road.
Yeah, Tanner Watkins takes over the 2nd spot. Finian, what would have been your call there for tires? You take tires all the time, every time you're
Oh, yes. I think you are crazy not to, unless we have like a short run, like 2-3 laps. Don't take tires. You don't really have to, but if you're definitely filling up some fuel, definitely take tires.
Ready to work our way onto the backstretch. 11 laps into this one, 10% complete. And Nick Stoller, now he's going to head to pit road. Interesting move.
I wonder if he did it to lead a lap.
Could be the case. Gonna check our new rules that we're trying to get used to. Leading a single lap, 1 bonus point. So
there we go. Some strategy.
Answers your question. Also, for the pole sitter, Tanner Watkins, that's also a bonus point. The driver that leads the most lap gets 2 bonus points, and the most points a driver can score in a single race is 54 points. So as we watch this 15 race battle this season, those points, every point matters, and Nick Stoller might have just wanted to grab one early there.
Yeah, every point counts at the end of a championship run.
Even Larkamp, maybe not quite as quick as we were expecting for being a 5-time defending champ.
No, it could be a bit of a strategy. You know, you don't necessarily have to be in the front of these races. As long as you're in the lead draft, and you're in the draft of the leaders, you can pretty much find any way to get up there. And especially if you know what you're doing, if you can make moves and know how to race the car, you can definitely pull it off. So there's a bit of strategy. You know, just staying back, staying out of the mess, just trying to keep a race going, because we're only 12 laps into 100, and it's still a while's way to go.
So the drivers that are out so far, Tyler Tucker in the 55, an unfortunate early end of the day for him, Zach Buchanan in the 40, and Jared Dixon in the 60. Those 3 cars are 1 and 2 laps down respectively, and I assume those lap down markers are going to get bigger and bigger. Those cars are definitely done for the race. Ford Mustang pace car leads him around again for continue this caution, but it looks like we're going to be going 1 to green here.
And yeah, we believe they do single file restarts.
Single file restarts here in the ISDC IndyCar Series. Tanner Watkins is coming into this race on fire. I mean, that pole lap was great, and he's been showing a lot of speed. But Danny Roberts, obviously in the championship battle at the end of last season, certainly making himself known tonight, as well as Johnny Eckert. So those three guys already showing themselves to be powerhouse teams so far this season.
Yeah, definitely like what I was seeing from Danny Roberts. You know, he was using the racetrack to his advantage, making moves here and there, and was really able to pull them off and pull the lead. So solid job by him. Sucks that he lost the position on pit road, but we'll see if he can get it back here.
Right, as we round turn 3 and 4 here, we're going to get them going back green to complete lap 13. Tanner Watkins going to lead them back to the green flag. So we're looking at lap 40, 42 for the next pit stop if everything runs green from here.
Yeah, Tanner Watkins wasting no time and just going as soon as the pace car went.
It'd be cool if we had Tanner Faust in the series. I know where you're going with that, but
I'm so used to hearing saying that last name after that.
Tanner Watkins leads him down to green. Danny Roberts right on his tailpipe. Any cars have tailpipes? Where's the exhaust going out?
I believe it comes out next to the engine bay.
Yeah, that tells me I'm a stock car boy. So please not turn 4. Danny Roberts in the lead now, passes Tanner Watkins on the back straightaway, then take that spot over. But Watkins going to look to the outside, and here comes Johnny Eckert in the 90.
Ooh. Tanner wants it, and so does Danny. They're both
3 wide for the lead.
3 wide.
Oh my goodness. And here comes... I really got to get a clarification on that name. I got to look in my document here. See if that name is in there. I sure hope it is. Oh, thank God. Pokrivki. Kyle Pokrivki. I hope I got that right.
Ace, solid job going to second place. Looks like he's going to fall back to third on the inside line. And back up to second as the drop works out. And all of these guys in a huge pack here.
Yeah, this is kind of dangerous, though. You don't want to get yourself too out of shape with all these cars around you. Not a whole lot of room for error. And with the aero push that we were talking about earlier, Finian, a little bit of a slip can mean a big trouble for a lot of these cars.
Definitely. And Steven Larkamp, looks like he's going to just chill in the back of his pack. Might surrender 8th place to the 63.
Good luck with that name. Marcus in the 63. Marcus, we're gonna, as the season goes on, we're gonna try to clarify all these names so we can say them right. We just don't want to butcher them that badly. Wow, look at these guys fanning out on the front straightaway again, working lap 17 on board with the 62 Steven Larkamp heading into turn 1, running a little bit more up the track than we saw the initial run.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to save those tires. Tires are probably the most precious thing you can have here. I would say tires are almost more important than fuel. If you run your tires out too early, you're gonna just be dropping back like a fly. And that's kind of the worry I'm having for Danny Roberts. He's defending the lead, and that's pretty much all he can do to defend the lead is running the bottom. But that kind of plays into the 3's favor by running the high side. He's going to save his tires, and Danny's going to lose his tires a lot faster than some of these other guys.
Yeah, so as Danny Roberts defends, those tires are going to burn off. Tanner Watkins still a threat on the outside here. Johnny Eckert following in his slipstream. And Kyle Pokrifke in the 77 in that bright yellow car following closely behind. It looks like behind them they got it all kind of figured out. Battle right now is up front. Watkins running just a half a lane higher. He's going to get a great run off turn 2 here down the back straightaway. Whoa! Ooh. Johnny Eckert with an aggressive look to the inside heading into turn 3.
Yeah, that could have ended disastrous. Good thing he backed out of that.
And Pokrifke's fighting off Matthew Dugan in the 06, moving his way up nicely.
And here we have the 63 working on the 06. And there he takes that spot.
Working lap 22, we're about a fifth of the way through this one. Kyle Pokrifke working that high lane just like Tanner Watkins is on the leader and making good use of it. Down the back straightaway for the 22nd time and to the inside. That 63 car flirting with that space, and he's going to drift up just a little bit, get a little bit of push on the exit, and he's now under attack from Matthew Dugan.
And it seems like Dugan's going to fall back in line. Yeah, all these guys are pretty much stacking up on the lead pack, so they're just going to all accordion up, and they're going to end up side by side, you know, just about a little bit.
Ever so slightly, I'm watching that racing line move up the track just a little bit every single time they go by. Matthew Dugan making pretty good progress. I don't know exactly where he started, but he's moved his way all the way up to 6th. Over 210 miles an hour in the corners right now. Some wicked fast times up front. There you go. Those guys are still battling up front with Danny Roberts, Tanner Watkins, and Kyle Pokrifke. Side by side, Watkins and Roberts again.
Yeah, Tanner's really persistent. He's just going to keep working on the outside of Danny until it works.
And as those tires burn off, it's going to get easier and easier to maintain that outside lane. Matthew Dugan's going to take over 5th behind this group, but you see Watkins kind of get in the slipstream, slip around to the high side and try to make a run down the back straightaway, but definitely these guys are very equally matched for the time being.
Yeah, it seems like Danny's just going to taking advantage of that preferred lane as these guys are jostling in the back here.
Matthew Dugan up to 4th place, again, continuing his drive forward. Maybe he didn't quite get the qualifying lap he wanted because he has come forward very quickly.
A solid job by him as these guys are battling it out back there.
Yeah, Chris Gutierrez in the number 2. And that silver, I believe that's a Verizon sponsor machine. He's going to drift up right in front of the 63, and he's going to jump to the inside. And Marcus will have to back out of that one for now. And behind Marcus, Will Roberts in the number 7. And Steven Larkamp running nose to tail.
Yeah, these two guys have been really quiet. I guess, yeah, they're just hanging on to the lead draft. Don't want to do anything too exciting. Just save the car and just make sure you get there at the end when it counts.
And Steven Larkamp, 5-time champion, he sure knows what he's doing. And maybe too early in the season to be really risking, bad days right out of the get-go when you can have a good one. So maybe he's just taking it easy. Going to wait for the cautions to figure themselves out. Maybe wait till later in the race to sprint. Especially the draft being the great equalizer, it's going to keep these guys nose to tail and not really going to let anyone get away. Up front, Roberts and Watkins still side by side. Watkins still working that high side.
Yeah, it doesn't look like this battle is going to be decided for a few more laps. And as they're going side by side, Kyle's catching up in the 77.
Yeah, Kyle Pokrifke in the 77 in that bright yellow Menard scheme looks like. Closing on that battle as Watkins runs to the high side. And behind him, don't look now, the 06 of Matthew Dugan closing the gap. On board with the Sparkle Hands Cam. I want to thank Sparkle for their support of SimTV broadcasts each and every week. We appreciate that. As well as Rigshare. Again, you can find the Rigshare's link in the description. And thanks to them for coming on board this season. See little bits of rubber flying up, laying down some rubber in these corners and picking it right back up with these hot tires. Almost got a whiplash from the camera there, rotating around really fast. 210 plus on the straightaways here. 213, 215 by the leader, Danny Roberts. Wow, Roberts used up Watkins just a little bit on the entry to turn 3. And now you can see Roberts moving up the racetrack.
Yeah, this 2-car battle up front has just become a 4-car battle as the 77 Eagle 6 joined the play.
Matthew Dugan looking really racy, but Watkins had to back out of it a little bit. Roberts has moved up the track and really made, and kind of taken Watkins' line away. But Roberts goes defensive again. It's going to force 3 up to the high lane once more. And Kyle Pokrivky's just looking at this, trying to wait and see who's going to come out the victor, so he can take advantage of whoever loses the fight.
Yeah, Roberts there, he just took the high line in 3 and 4. That's showing me that his tires are starting to show some wear, so he's got no choice but to run the higher line. And it seems like the 3 is going to try to take advantage of that.
Oh, and we got a caution on the racetrack, and it looks like, oh, it's the 29. Oh man, that was another big one.
See if we can get a replay of that.
Joseph Cervone in the 29. And let's see what exactly transpired here, heading into turn 1. Oh, just got loose and... Oh, wow, I thought that was going to be the crash. Oh, that was... Oh, oh wow, and behind several other cars involved.
See if we can get a replay of the second incident.
Brian C. Mullen in the 17 came into that wreck a little bit late. We'll ride on board with him and find out what happened. You can see the car in front of him just grazing the wall. See the carnage happening here and just runs into the back of... I can't tell exactly who that was there, but what a wild ride for Mullen.
Yeah, really unfortunate. You know, just probably was confused. Saw the car wrecking up ahead and didn't know what to do, and just got collected in that. So really unfortunate to see from these guys.
All right, and the field is on pit road. Danny Roberts and Tanner Watkins side by side heading down pit lane. We'll watch this battle and see who comes out alive.
Yeah, last time the 3's pit crew got him out just a bit faster, so we'll see what happens this time around.
Whole field on pit road.
And it seems like Roberts is going to win that fight.
Yeah, Danny Roberts going to pull off pit road leading. Tanner Watkins, Kyle Pokrivky, and Matthew Dugan maintaining their positions. Chris Gutierrez in 5th, Will Roberts in 6th, Johnny Eckert 7th, Stephen Larkham 8th, and Aaron Bean 9th. I'm going to take a stab at that last name and say it's Jadal. I'm going to have to fix that next week. Marcus Jadal in the 63 is going to round out the top 10. And the rest of the drivers you see on the left-hand side of your screen where they popped out.
Oh, okay.
Jadal moves up to 8th. I don't know if there's a little disagreement there, or if maybe just the way the scoring worked on pit exit.
Yeah, he's just starting anyway. Okay.
So our second caution, we made it about 11 minutes without any wrecks, and another one claims a couple more drivers. Notably, Nick Stoller is out of the race, so we've moved our retirements down to Mullen, Cervone, Buchanan, Stoller, Tucker, and Dixon. All out before the halfway point of this one. So working lap 36, Danny Roberts out in front for the time being. And Danny Roberts took a commanding lead of that last run and was doing a good job holding off Watkins.
Yeah, I was generally impressed with how well he was able to hold off the 3. I thought he was his tires were gonna fade a lot quicker than they did on his car, and he was just gonna end up walking up the track, and he was just gonna get freight trained by the guys who saved their tires just a little bit more. So solid job by him. He's got fresh rubber again, and is ahead of Tanner Watkins. So we'll see what he can do. Although I will say it was interesting on that restart that Tanner got immediately passed by Danny on the back stretch, just because he had such a better draft at getting up to speed. So we'll see if he can hold up to 3 as they get the restart.
So it should be 1 to go when the pace car crosses the line this time. I will double check that as the Ford FR500 rolls by to complete lap 36. So the red 41 Dallara of Danny Roberts still leads. Tanner Watkins in second. Poker Key, Dugan, Gutierrez, and Roberts, your top 6. Right, so 1 to green. We'll get this one back going. Pretty quick cautions here at Homestead, which is nice to see. We're not waiting around too much on the pace car.
One actually name I want to just point out, Chris Badoff, he started all the way in the back. He's up to 12, so solid day from him.
Yeah, Chris Badoff has moved up, qualified 26th.
I believe he was one of the last, I believe he was tail end of the field, so.
Up, all the way up to 12, so maybe not a great qualifying effort, but he certainly made the field and is making a good show out of it so far from 21. But Badoff has done a good job. Behind him, Dylan Gooden and Chris Sweat in the 75 and 07, also having pretty decent runs. Head back up to the lead pack here, and we'll catch the green flag as the pace car is going to pull off this time. You can see the field behind Roberts moved up against the wall.
That's an interesting choice by Roberts starting on the he's starting in the middle of the track. That's an interesting move. Oh no, he's moving back up the track. I was wondering why he was leaving the passing lane open, as you can only pass on the outside as they start going away, and green flag's out.
And looking back behind the scenes on Brian Mullen's accident, a little bit of net code was the cause of that accident. So unfortunate for Mullen, that's going to take him out of this one. So Danny Roberts leads him to green and down the back straightaway, but Tanner Watkins has one huge run. And look who's here. Kyle Pokerski in the 77 going to follow him through. Yeah, he goes to block.
Yeah, I don't think Tanner has enough, and he might just fall into the same thing that's happened on the last run, as the 77 of Kyle is going to look on the outside.
Pokerski to the outside, 3 wide for the lead. And he's going to lose the advantage here, but that inside line really, really good on the restarts.
Yeah, definitely solid job by Danny Roberts, just holding the inside and making Tanner work on the outside, which we haven't seen really succeed so far.
And we could throw 10 cars under a blanket here. Whoa, Tanner Watkins got a little sideways there. But Matthew Dugan, here he comes for the lead. 3 wide again heading into turn 1. Dugan has made a huge jump from farther down in the pack, but now here comes Will Roberts. A great restart for him.
Yeah, definitely. Dugan just left the door wide open, and Roberts is like, I'm going to take it. So Roberts up to 3rd place, and here comes Pokerski back on Dugan. So these guys are going to duke it out again.
And lots of different lines being chosen here. Will Roberts had one heck of a restart. Restarted 6th or 7th, I believe, and moved his way all the way up to 3rd. Behind Roberts and Watkins, whose battle continues to rage. But here comes Dugan on the outside. A little bit of momentum killed there, but right behind this, Johnny Eckert in the 60, or the 90 car is looking to join this battle, as well as Chris Gutierrez in the 2. And Watkins and Roberts cannot get off of each other. They've been like this for several laps, and Watkins going to take another run at him.
I almost think Tanner should just get some points for just persistence. He hasn't even just given up and said, I'm just going to fall back in line behind him. No, he's been going at every single opportunity he can.
Oh, man, Will Roberts went up the racetrack there. He's going to drop a couple spots. Lost a ton of momentum off the corner. Just the car pushed up the racetrack, and maybe the progressive banking not quite enough to save him from that one. So he's going to lose a couple spots to Kyle Pokerski and Matthew Dugan. Down the backstretch again for the 43rd time. And look at Johnny Eckert in the 90 behind this group. Riding on board with Eckert through turn 4. And the leaders are snaking down the the front straight. And Watkins again, persistence, trying to get that lead away from Danny Roberts. Not super aggressive. I think he could make room on the inside if he really wanted to, but as you watch Will Roberts try to go underneath Matthew Dugan here, he's going to go up to 3rd. And Roberts is going to rocket back around the outside, or excuse me, the inside. Dugan's going to take that spot.
Pokerski is also, he didn't get the run executed. He had a good run there. See if he might get a better run on the backstretch and see if he looks on the inside.
And Tanner Watkins, we haven't seen his name glow green. He's just been nose cone behind Danny Roberts every single lap, and this might be where he can get an advantage. But here comes Dugan and Roberts. Roberts going to jump to the inside, heading into turn 1. We got to be careful when you come in that low, not to push up the racetrack, because you see him lose a little bit of momentum there. Kyle Pokerfi is going to take advantage of that and take P4 away.
Yeah, a certain driver that we've been talking about. Oh, okay. He looked like he was he's trying to work his way back up.
Yeah, Steven Larkamp in the 62. Still biding his time. I think he sees the aggressive driving up front, and he's going to say, I'll come back later, guys. You guys fight it out. I'll be there at the end as we work lap 47.
And Chris Badorf in 10th place, he moved up 2 positions on that recent, so having an even better day. And who knows, in a few laps' time, if these guys keep going like it at the front, he'll catch up to them.
And Dugan tried to squeeze his car into the outside, but Watkins didn't really give him a whole lot of room there. Just a couple inches, but they kept it going straight. And Watkins, I got to give him, I mean, he's got to get some kind of award. This is pretty impressive. And he looks to the inside.
He's looking at every single way he can get around Roberts, and Roberts is like, nope, that is my line, thank you. And just holding it down.
He's going to get a nice good run off this corner here and down the back straightaway. Can he get a nose ahead? 200th, 100th of a second, not quite enough. And here comes Dugan in the 06. The jump back behind Roberts, get a slipstream heading into turn 1. And I'm just amazed that Roberts has been able to hold that bottom line so consistently without burning off his tires. But then again, we only are really 10 laps into a run or so.
And one thing I've noticed is that there's a bit of a split between the top 6 and the 7th on back. There seems to be a rift in the pack, and this pack's caught our former champion. So these guys might end up losing the draft if they don't get single sorted out soon.
Yeah, and right in front of Steven Larkamp is Johnny Eckert, who was also in the championship battle last season. So those guys might know something that we don't, as we're halfway through this one here at Homestead. Now, if you're Tanner Watkins, this could probably be pretty frustrating to not be able to take a run at him. But as he looks to the outside again, got a really good run that time. When you're second place following the leader, does it get hard when you poke that nose out to hit that wall of air and try to get around?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It slows you down. It is literally like hitting a wall. You just notably know that the car just ends up getting slowed down, and your better on the inside just keeps on going. So, yeah, he's really just got to, I would say, wait, although he has been running pretty well. So, he can just keep going at it, and one of these times it will work. As soon as, I don't think we ran long enough that last run for Roberts' tires to wear out to where Tanner can make the pass, but hopefully this run, if it goes green and they make pit stops, he can take advantage.
And what does it take for Danny Roberts to run so consistently in that bottom line? There's got to be some kind of throttle control that's allowing him to keep it on the bottom without pushing it.
Yeah, definitely. If you keep about 10 laps into a run, if you keep pouring it in 3 and 4, you will find the wall. So you definitely need to have some throttle control, know how much to turn in, and a whole bunch of things to keep the line as perfect as you can. And Roberts has been hitting his marks every single lap.
I don't think he's missed a corner yet, and it's making Tanner Watkins' life pretty miserable as Roberts takes him up into the high side, up into the marbles there off of turn 4, and Watkins is going to have another look at him, but still can't quite break that wall and get around the leader in the 41. There's Johnny Eckert side by side with Steven Larkamp, two championship contenders from last season as they work their way down the back straightaway. Alright, it's been 10 minutes since our last yellow, and everyone's pretty kind of single filed out as we look back at this battle with Cody Wenzen, Justin Rector, and Chris Badorf. These guys, kind of the most intense battle on the track at the moment. That's for 10th place.
And Badorf is able to, you can see, he gets just a bit of a run down on the outside of the straight, and he just can't clear it by 3 and 4. That inside line is so key. But also, if you see there, Justin just getting a little tight in the center of the corner, and that's the tires wearing off, and the car going up the hill. So he had to get off the gas and let Badorf go. And that's just kind of the dynamic here, the inside versus the outside line here, and trying to take advantage of that in either lane.
Working their way down the backstretch, you see how much the slipstream aids these cars in their forward movement. And Rector's going to lose a spot to Aaron Bean and Chris Badorf. Cody Wenzen and Marcus Jadal trading spots for 9th and 10th. There's a 4-car battle there.
These guys in a huge pack. Eckert wants that position back from Steven. And just not going to quite get it.
Off of turn 4 now, we're going to be heading into lap 58. Or, excuse me, 59, completing lap 58. 42 to go as we look at Will Roberts chasing down Chris Gutierrez. A little bit of a gap there between those two.
Yeah, Will Roberts is falling quite a ways back. He's kind of in danger of losing the draft here if he falls any further back. And he'll fall into the clutches of the 90 of Johnny Eckert. And we're going to quickly look back up, and yeah, it seems like Tanner's given up a bit.
And Tanner Watkins has fallen back from the leader just a little bit. Has Matthew Dugan all over his rear wing. Interesting that Roberts is the one that walked away with the victory of that battle, considering he was running the low side for so long. He probably roasted his tires. A little roasty McToasty on the good old Firestones. But side by side for second, Dugan's going to take that spot.
Yeah, he's going to end up clearing him here in turn 1 and 2, and it seems like that's all he had to say about that.
Oh, but Watkins is going to duck down, do the over-under off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Wow, that's close. Didn't really give him a whole lot of room heading into
yeah,
three.
Put him straight up to the wall.
You can see that outside lane prevailing, though, as Dugan's going to get a great run off turn 4.
And yeah, it seems this is the first time we've seen these guys this spread out. A few battles here and there on the track, but it's the first time they're all there's definitely some spaces in between cars.
Kyle Pokerkey in the Menard 77 leading Chris Gutierrez in the 2. We should be... Yeah, we're going to be coming up on pit stops in just a couple laps here. Right now the leaders are on their 28th lap of this stint. So I expect to see cars on pit road shortly. Looking out from the rear wing of Kyle Pokerkey.
Yeah, and you can see just down the backstretch, just see how much these cars just suck up from behind. The draft's a huge, huge player.
And Gutierrez goes to the low side off of turn 4. You got to watch that drift up, though. He's going to lose his momentum. And here comes Will Roberts in the 7. But Roberts is going to stay tucked in behind for now.
And it seems that Gutierrez just can't get the move done. I think the car is just a little bit too tight for him, and he's going to try the low line. And yeah, the key here is making the car stick to that bottom side. But yeah, it seems like Gutierrez just can't get the run, can't get the move done.
Gonna take another look into him into turn 1, and it's gonna have a pretty good run, but really losing momentum is coming out of the corner as the banking falls away. And Pokerkey's actually they're gonna be pretty neck and neck down the straight, but there you see the run just a little bit of an advantage. And Matthew Dugan up to the lead. Danny Roberts, that would be... He just...
Oh, he's pitting.
Oh. Yep, Roberts is... That's why the access road doesn't count as pit road in iRacing, so we didn't see him head down on there and his text turned yellow. So Danny Roberts is going to lead him down to pit road. No one else beat him there, actually, so he's going to be the first one down.
And that's actually pretty key. As you can see, he's starting a chain reaction. The undercut here is huge. You lose about a second to 2 seconds here on older tires. So as soon as you can get those fresh Firestones on, the better.
And Matthew Dugan leading down himself and Tanner Watkins to pit road.
Now following him, Eckert, Bean, all these guys running in the front. Everyone wants their tires.
Once again, drivers in yellow are on pit road. Drivers in white are on the racetrack.
Okay, so as you can see, these guys just getting to the stall. We're going to see where Danny Roberts is on the track. He's on the back stretch. So it's going to be a matter of who gets out ahead of who.
Now, interesting, Will Roberts and Chris Gutierrez have stayed on the racetrack, as well as Cody Wenzen, Justin Rector, and John Martin.
I think I know what they're doing. They're trying to stretch out their fuel because it's really close. We're getting really close on fuel here.
Now, I don't know if you can really make it 32 laps. That might be a little bit much to ask, but Roberts got a huge advantage on that pit stop.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the undercut. It's got a huge advantage over the guys behind him.
And maybe more aggressive heading down onto that entry road, which kind of gives a little bit more strategy to it. Then you can push harder on that access road, but you're going to be kind of risking your race if you run even just a little bit wide and get your tires in the grass.
So we see here, Daniel Roberts has got a 2-second lead over what is effectively second place, and he's pretty much broken the draft at this point. So
yeah. Roberts, Gutierrez, and others on pit road, Wenzen as well, Justin Rector. So the pit cycle will finish up here shortly, and looks like everybody has been down pit road at least 3 times.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because we are seeing that they pitted around lap 29 to lap 31-ish on fuel. And we have just about that many laps left in the race. So we might see some fuel saving.
Well, if a caution comes out, that pretty much means everybody can make it, hopefully. But if it goes green, I'm not really sure that Danny Roberts can make it.
No, yeah, he was one of the first to pit, so he's definitely has the most to worry about. But Chris Gutierrez was leading the last set of guys to pit, and as you can see, he did lose a lot of position to, I believe he's battling with the 77?
Yep.
Yes. So he's lost about, he's lost 2 seconds to the 77 of Property, but he might be able to be the closest to go on the field.
Now, Danny Roberts also, though, with that 2.4 second lead that he's rocking right now, that's a little bit of room to save some fuel. I'm just not sure if he can save 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, that is a tall order, and it's definitely going to see, trying some different. Actually, I was going to say they could try some different engine mix, but on a fixed setup as they are on, they can't do anything.
Yeah, so kind of locked into that with a fixed setup, so that will not be happening for Roberts. So he's got to get creative. But right behind him, Tanner Watkins and Kyle Pokerkey battling for second position now. And we kind of. Fuel mileage wasn't something we were necessarily expecting walking in this one, but there's always the threat of a caution. You see Will Roberts jockeying there with Johnny Eckert, Matthew Dugan, Chris Gutierrez, and more behind them.
A huge pack behind them is formed, and these guys are going to keep going at it.
3 wide down the back straightaway.
Everyone wants their positions. Hello.
Johnny Eckert pulling ahead just a little bit here in this battle. Oh, 3 wide. Ooh. That was close, and they got to be conscious of their 3 wide position here. Looking at Dugan. Split in the middle. Oh, there's contact.
Oh,
can he save it?
Great save.
Oh, Dugan did an incredible job holding on to that one. That could have been a caution. So great job by Dugan to hold on to that and maintain his position. And I don't really see a lot of damage there.
No, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but definitely lost some positions and probably almost had a heart attack there. So solid effort by him. He's going to just have to recuperate and get himself back in this fight.
I know one guy that was upset that wasn't a yellow, though, and that might be the 41 of Roberts. Because that could have been his saving grace for fuel saving. And I don't know, maybe he will make it, but I'm going to guess he's a little bit short, so we'll see how that works.
Definitely is close.
Watching Will Roberts here chasing down Johnny Eckert. And Chris Gutierrez in the 2 leading this battle. And up in front, Pokerfkey's taken over second place. But they have fallen off 3.6 seconds from leader Roberts.
Yeah, Roberts is honestly looking at his relative or in his mirror right now, and it's probably loving these 2 guys just going at it. The more these 2 guys worry about racing each other, the further ahead Roberts can get. So, yeah, it's going to be really, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
And the farther ahead Roberts gets, the more he can save fuel. Working lap 77 now. Here goes Tanner Watkins around the inside of Pokerfkey in the 77 Menard machine. They complete that pass, but he's going to drift up, and we'll see if Pokerfkey can answer. Or if he'll sit on it. Looks like he's ahead of the inside heading into turn 1 and try to repeat that. And they're going to swap once more. Tanner Watkins has been having a really... It's got to be fun from the cockpit in his car. I mean, he's been side by side with everyone pretty much every single lap of the race. And so far has kept it clean. See him swapping once more with Pokerkey.
No, Pokerkey didn't make a move that time.
Here he goes. He's going to use the slipstream again. Almost sounded like Watkins got out of it, but kept foot to the floor, and Pokerkey's going to head to the inside and take that spot again.
Yeah, that time by these guys are actually just a bit faster than Danny Roberts.
Oh, that was close heading into turn 1. They almost touched wheels there. But Watkins going to once again take over. These guys they're almost leapfrogging, and that might be. I mean, I don't really know what's going on right now, but it looks just a full disclaimer. But they almost could be leapfrogging, maybe trying to catch the 41.
Yeah, it looks like they are trying to work together just to get a bit of a draft, and it seems to be working for them.
Yeah,
their lap times are looking a bit faster.
Last time by, they were 10th quicker than leader Danny Roberts. And,
yeah, so this is actually working, which I'm surprised. I honestly didn't think. I thought they were kind of wasting each other's time, just going back and forth, back and forth.
Well, I think they were at the beginning. I don't think they were planning on doing this, but they realized they were losing up to a second, and it wasn't helping very much. But you can see that relative to the top left-hand corner of your screen, right under the number 100, that gap is shrinking.
Yeah, definitely good to find some allies to work with. So solid job of these guys trying to work together to get up to the front and get back in fight for the win.
A little bit of lap traffic there. There's a 33 of Deacon Allen that just went a lap down.
Here we have Cody Wenzen and Marcus Gisdale fighting for position.
No.
I'm sorry.
Close enough. We'll take it.
I'm going to personally apologize to Marcus after this race. I butchered his name in several different ways. But yeah, good race by Cody Wenzen. I think it's the first time we've seen him break the top 10, so solid job by him.
Yeah, Wenzen was up, I think it was up there a little bit earlier, but he's definitely having a good run. And Will Roberts going to... Oh, here's a battle. Will Roberts, Chris Gutierrez, Johnny Eckert, and Stephen Larkamp all in this group. And who else is in that battle? Matthew Dugan. So that damage doesn't really seem to be hurting him too much. He's right back into the thick of it.
It's just a giant question mark over how much fuel these guys have. We have no clue, so only they know what's going on. And I would say the person who's probably the least concerned is Gutierrez, because I believe he hit lap or two after. We can actually check right here.
Yeah, he is on the same strategy as Will Roberts in the 7. And they have a full 2 laps more of fuel than the front 3. So they're in a pretty good position. Now, the lead gap, 2.6 seconds now. Oh, hello. Chris Gutierrez heading to... Oh, he's off the racetrack, sliding up. Hopefully he gets it off the racetrack, and he does.
That's going to cost him.
And I think that throws that strategy out the window.
Yeah, I think I see what he's trying to do. I'm guessing he pit because he realized he couldn't make it on fuel and was trying to cut the stint in half and get some fresh tires on. Unfortunately, he missed that pit road entry, and that's probably going to cost him the race.
But as I was saying, that lead gap has come down from Danny Roberts down to 2.5 seconds. So, again, last time by, another 10th quicker. And at this pace, I'm not sure if they'll catch him, but they're sure going to force Roberts to use a little bit more of his fuel.
Yeah, I'm guessing from that pit stop we might be seeing these guys are just giving up on it and trying to get some tires early, which could work out in the end. So we'll see if anyone else tries to pit.
Yeah, Jeff Gross on pit road as well. Gutierrez as well as... Okay, so we're going to see how this all shakes out, but I'm a little bit surprised by that.
Oh, Dugan's on pit road.
And, oh yeah, so that's... Yep, Matthew Dugan, and that's going to lead, I think, the rest of the field onto pit road. I think they're going to know they're not going to make it. Now, does someone that pitted later try to send it? What do you think?
If you're one of the guys probably in the back and if you wanna roll the dice, you can. But I'm having a feeling you probably can't make it.
I would have thought that Gutierrez would have been in the best position, or even Will Roberts, and Will Roberts is still out there. So
Eckert is also in.
Yeah, Johnny Eckert on pit road. So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I will say you don't want to wait too long. You want to try to get as much. You don't want to let the tires you're currently on get too old, and you don't want the tires you're getting off to get. So the tires you're putting on to be to not utilize the maximum effect. So you want to manage those tires as much as you can. And Danny Roberts and these guys up front are not seeming like they want to pit.
Yeah, but Pokrivke and Watkins could get a big advantage right now if they head to pit road. We're coming to 10 to go this time by, and if you're going to do an undercut, now is the time to do it. But we don't really know what's up under the sleeve here. That's Chris Bador from the 20. Oh, and I think that answers that question. Kyle Pokrivke heads to pit road, and this could be a big deal.
Yeah, we've got to see where they all fall, and where the dice fall. So.
Yeah, but the tire fall off, Finian, only about 6-7 tenths of a second. So unless Roberts hangs out there for a couple more laps, I'm not sure the undercut's going to be enough. Well, Roberts stays out. Going to be 9 to go this time by. And Tanner Watkins as well, still on the racetrack. This is going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, definitely, and I think we've got a battle here between...
Yeah, Cody Wenzen and Will Robertson in a heated battle here. Will Roberts has 2 more laps of fuel than Robertson. I would have thought that Roberts would have pit by now.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's going to try to stick it to the end, is what I'm getting from him, or he's going to try to pit at the last second. So I don't know how that's going to work out for these guys. So let's see if we can... Will Clark is actually the first driver, it seems, that is working the undercut strategy of pitting. He's the first driver on the who pitted.
Yeah, he's on his 4th pit stop of the day, running 10th right now. But he is down a lap from the leader. But obviously he'll get that back if and when the lead drivers pit. So 7 to go. And Will Roberts continues to stay on the racetrack, as well as Tanner Watkins, Cody Wenzen, and others.
Currently the top 9 drivers have currently not pitted.
And Tim Silliman up to 11th. So a little, wasn't quite up there earlier in the race, but they're having a great day, considering their run earlier. So good improvement for Tim. And Roberts right now, Marcus Jadal in the 63 is right on his rear wing, looking at the outside down the back straightaway. So they continue to battle, and as the laps tick down, my doubt about the pit stops is growing.
Oh,
and never mind. So Danny Roberts to pit road eliminates that question. But what about Will Roberts? He's got 2 more laps of fuel, so he's either 3 laps short or he's not.
It seems like he's going to be trying to dole away. And again, question marks in the air. We have no clue how much fuel he has in the tank. Only he knows how much fuel he has in the tank, and he knows if he's going to make it or not. And there comes the other leader, Tanner Watkins. He's going to follow in as well.
Tanner Watkins is in pit lane, but Cody Wenzen's still out on the racetrack. But Wenzen, I believe, is on the same strategy as the other cars, not Will Roberts. So Will Roberts still has more fuel than the 67. Be interested to see how this shakes out. But I got to believe if Roberts used all of his fuel, there's no way that Will is going to make it.
Yeah, so...
or, excuse me, not Roberts. Other Roberts. There's 2 Roberts out there.
Oh, I just realized.
I gotta not call them by their last name. That's good to know. But 3 laps to go, and Cody Wenzen in the 67 currently leads, and we have yet to see him on pit road for the 4th time.
Yeah, it's coming down to the wire here. 3 laps to go. So you're either gonna run out of fuel or you're not. And Will Roberts is actually making a lot of ground. And there's Danny Roberts, I believe, in the frame. Is that him? Yes, that is him.
Yeah, so
he's unlapping himself. So he's getting back onto the lead lap now.
But we're 2 to go, Finney, and I gotta believe if you're Will Roberts or Cody Wenzen, if you were gonna pit, you would have done it by now.
Oh yeah, these guys are staying out. We got a lap and a half to go. And I think right now they're just hoping that they don't run out of gas, and they're going to be fighting for the win as we come down to the white flag here.
One other thing we didn't consider is that Will Roberts was in a slipstream for most of this run and continues to be so right now following the 67 of Wenzen. So that might turn out to be the difference as we head on to our final lap here at Homestead.
I see. Well, oh, and I think Cody's running out of gas.
Yeah, Cody's out of fuel. Cody Wenzen is out of fuel.
Now, does Will Roberts have enough gas to make it around? Oh no, he's run out of fuel as well.
Roberts is slowing, and here comes Justin Rector. Will he get there in time?
He's gonna take it out of 4, and he's gonna steal the win from Roberts.
Steals the win.
Wow,
incredible finish for Justin Rector in the 0-3. And Will Roberts is going to come across the line and take second.
Wow, that's gotta hurt.
A great gamble, though. I mean, all things said and done, good execution. Stephen Larkamp, wow, that shows his championship ability, running 3rd. Cody Wenzen brings it home in 4th. Considering he ran out of fuel on the back straight, that's not so bad.
Yeah, so Justin had enough fuel, and he was on the same strategy as the 7 and the 67. But I'm guessing he had just enough gas. I'm actually wondering if he's out of gas right now on this cooldown lap.
I would say that's a safe bet, but we have Justin Rector, Will Roberts, Stephen Larkamp, Cody Wenzen, Dylan Gooden, Danny Roberts, Kyle Pokerkey, Johnny Eckert, Tanner Watkins, and Marcus Jadal in the top 10. Whoa! Got a car sliding on the front straight right now. But will he have enough for burnouts? Whew.
No, I don't think he does. So he is also out of gas, so he barely had enough.
Nope,
that's...
Well, there's Pokerkey doing a burnout. And 11th through 20th, Chris Sweat, Chris Badorf, Matthew Dugan, Chris Gutierrez, Jeff Gross, Aaron Bean, John Martin, Tim Silliman, Phil Clark, Deacon Allen.
You can see his fellow competitors doing burnouts for him.
Well, I mean, hey, if you can't do it, let your friends do it, right?
Yeah.
What an incredible change of events in the last few minutes of this race. All right, Finian. Well, we're going to jump to break real quick. We're going to jump onto Discord and try to get an interview. We'll wait one more minute, though, just these guys. Yes, Matt Dugan in Discord. We did catch some of your saves, I think. So we're just going to wait one more minute, make sure everyone's off the track so we can grab them in Discord. But Finian, 100 laps here at Homestead, opening up the ISDC IndyCar Series. And what a race it was.
Yeah, that really came down to a last corner pass, but not in the way we would have expected it.
Yeah, certainly a wild one, and what an eventful end of the race. Good battles all around, and extremely impressive strategies by Justin Rector, Will Roberts, and Stephen Larkamp. I mean, we were talking about him running 7th, 8th. We were kind of thinking he was out of the fight, and comes back in here and finishes 3rd, so not too bad. All right, so we're going to jump to break real quick. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with your winner. All right, we're back with your winner, Justin Rector in the 0-3. Justin, that came down to the final corner. You had a pretty good run leading up to that, but clever fuel-saving strategies led to the win for you. What were you doing those last couple laps to save that extra bit of fuel?
Mainly just stayed in the draft. We had a lap car that was on. I guess he stayed a little bit later, like I did, and he was right in front of me. I just kind of stuck in his tire tracks to save. I never, lifted, never clutched it or anything like that. Just kind of went with the strategy I've been doing. Once he pitted, every once in a while somebody would come out of pit road off of 2, and I would catch their draft for maybe like half a lap till their faster tires just took over and they were gone. But yeah, once I came off, when the leader started running out on the last lap, I came off 2 and looked. I had a gallon left. I said, "There's no way we're going to run out. We've got this." And yeah, it ran out coming into turn 1, crossing after the checker flag.
Yeah, certainly an exciting finish, and out there that draft was pretty wild. But the first race of the season, what are you expecting heading into the rest of this one with a diverse schedule and continuing to race with these impressive drivers out there?
Yeah, so the schedule looks cool. I'm honestly only running the oval. I typically run the Cup series of these guys, and I like messing with these open wheel cars. So I, figured I'd tack on some oval races here or there. Go run Indy and places like that. Didn't expect to, win the season opening race, so maybe I have to reconsider those plans a little bit. But Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a fun series. It was cool to see a full field tonight. Definitely a diverse cast of racers out here. Great racing against all those guys around there like we were. So I seriously think people need to keep an eye on this series. This is going to be a fun one to watch here in season 6.
Awesome. Well, thanks for talking to us, Justin. We're going to head to break once more real quick. We'll be right back with your second and third place finishers. Welcome back to Sim TV. I'm Kyle Hare here with Finney and Dakuna, and we're here with your second place finisher, Will Roberts. Will, you didn't quite make it, but you rolled across the line and took home a P2 finish after doing some incredible fuel saving. Walk us through those last couple laps.
Those last few laps, I knew I was going to be short because when we came out of the pits, I mean, that was sort of the talk of the town, though, coming into the pits with about 35 to go, because everyone thought they were going to be short, but I was looking at my numbers and I thought I was going to be good by about a lap. So I didn't even look at it, and about 15 to go, take a look at it. I'm like, I'm going to be about half a lap short. And just no matter what I did, I couldn't get those fuel numbers because I was making really good numbers there on the first long stint. I was making about 4.3 a lap, but I just couldn't get back to it. And then I figured out Cody was doing about the same thing, so I kind of just latched onto him to try and save every little bit I could. And we come around turn 2, and he's really starting to slow, and I'm like, oh, he's out of fuel. So I hop around him knowing that I'm about to run out, just so that if it comes down to him and me, I can just be that much ahead. And I think I've got it. And then I come off 4, and I hear my Rector's coming. And lo and behold, I end up about 2 seconds short.
Well, it's certainly a great finish, and congratulations on the second. That's going to be a good points day for you. We're looking forward to the rest of the season. 15 rounds here. What's your plan for the season? Are you going to go out there and try to just go for wins? Are you going to try to just so that was what you looked like you were going for today with the fuel strategy. But there's also a points game to play. So what's your strategy for the rest of the season?
I mean, my strategy I just take the oval events how I can, and I try and make the most I can out of the road courses, because when the right turns become involved, I just don't quite have it. So I'm just going to try and make the most I can out of those and try and capitalize on the ovals. I mean, we're on a real hot streak. I think this is like 6 podiums on the last 7 ovals. So I'm really looking to maximize what I can out of those.
Well, that's good to hear. Thanks for talking to us, Will. Congratulations on the second, and good luck in the next round.
Certainly, thank you.
And now we're here with Stephen Larkamp, who finished third. And Stephen, earlier in the race, we were watching you kind of hanging around 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and we're kind of wondering, 5-time champion, maybe not running quite up as far front as we thought, but towards the end of the race, a little bit of fuel saving, and boom, 3rd place. I mean, that is the makings of a champion right there. So first of all, congratulations, and second of all, those last couple laps, you're rocketing by people in the pits. What was your strategy to move up those positions?
Well, really at that point, really the last pit stop, I definitely wanted to make it on that last one, and I felt with the mileage that we were getting under the last green flag stint, we would have been able to do it, and we did, but just barely. In fact, I was about 80% throttle for the last 10 laps of the race or so, and everyone else came in the pits, and a lot of them went a lap down in the process, and that helped move me up. And but above everything else, I think I'm definitely happy for the result, but I feel gutted for my teammate, Cody Wenzen, who was leading on the last lap, and he coughed out of fuel just as he came to the line, and I actually snagged 3rd place from him. So that it could have been even better start to the season for the Gap SRT boys, but overall, very good start, and it's at a track that I normally suck at. I normally don't like Homestead all that much. I've never really gotten used to this place. But I guess the fact that I think the last time we were here was a fuel mileage race as well. I guess that kind of suits me.
Well, certainly a great finish from a race that was a pretty wild one to end it. So congratulations again, Stephen. Good luck in the next round, and thanks for talking to us.
Oh, thanks. Should be a great season. Looking
forward to it. Thanks a lot, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we got our top 3 interviewed, Finian, but you got a feel for some of the drivers that kind of ran out of fuel there those last couple laps. As Stephen mentioned, Cody Wenzen, Danny Roberts just led almost the entire race, and is going to come home P6, as well as Tanner Watkins up there battling in the top 3 for most of it, going to come home with a 9th place finish. So not terrible days, but certainly not what they were looking for after being so dominant.
Yeah, one of the worst feelings as a driver is just trying to get your fuel right, trying to make it to the end, and then the car just coughing out of gas, and you're helpless going down and seeing your competitors pass you. It's probably one of the worst feelings as a driver. So sucks to see that happen to Will and Cody, but great job at them almost working the strategy to perfection. Just a little bit short.
Another driver I want to mention is Zach Buchanan in the 40 car. Going to bring it home in 21st, but he was running at the time of the end of the race, so he was involved in one of those early accidents. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 retirements from this one involved in crashes, but overall pretty clean race to start off our season. And as we look to our next round here in a couple of weeks, what's your prediction for the rest of it?
I'm hoping to see some great racing from these guys, and also as clean as this race. So definitely a great season looking ahead.
All right, Finney, we're going to wrap this one up here shortly. Thanks for being with us on Sim TV. Again, the race start time you'll find in the video description, the comments after the race, as well as links to the sponsors. Thanks for Rigshare and Sparko for sponsoring Sim TV's events. And it was certainly an exciting race, a very, very exciting finish. And 100 laps at Homestead is now complete, and we're going to head to our second round here in a couple weeks. So thanks for being with us. Kyle Heyer and Finney DeCuna from Sim TV out.